One of the people that's been ongoing having a breakdown sort of online. This is like a little bit of drama content. Um, which is good. Brad Taste is a guy on the internet. Brad Taste is a dude who had the big falling out with H3H3 a few weeks ago, and it's kind of worth it to cover because obviously Brad Taste is not in a great position. He seems like apparently he's like some sort of he's got maybe gambling addiction, and weed addiction or something. He was going to go to rehab, didn't go to rehab or something like that. And he's back. We're gonna watch his video real quick. But I'm mostly interested in following him just to kind of see like where he goes. And so one of my things is, and I'm going to let this play in a second, that I think a lot of people, and this is becoming more and more clear, who got bigger during COVID, and some people who just get big on the internet or just get on the internet in general as entertainers shouldn't be here. Shouldn't be here. If that's like a loss to your career or something, it is what it is. But I think we need to tell people to quit as an act of like gentle consideration for them as human beings more often. Like, I think that there's a lot of onus on some communities or some people's like interactions, parasocial or otherwise, with creators where they're like, you can get back in the saddle again. You can get back in the saddle. You could do it. You just need to take a day off, take a week off, and when you come back, you'll be ready. And I just don't think some people are. I think some people can't actually handle this, and just because they got successful, they think they can. I really think that's the case. Some people handle internet and being on the internet extremely well, and they're not big. They just have the I don't know, it's the other gene that's not the lolcow gene, the kind of just resistance to general internet radiation gene. And I don't think Brad Tasted Music has it. I think attention, you get success and you want success and you want to have the ability to do whatever you want and you want to have that freedom, but it comes with a drawback that a lot of people aren't ready, which is that you are going to be observed eternally for the rest of time. And your own people's interpretation of you is going to be taken away from you. Okay. And like, if you get basically dedicated to being, I am a guy that never fails, because you have like, what happens really for a lot of people when they get big, they have a pop off. I've seen this happen on YouTube a bunch of times. They have a big boom, boom, and everyone agrees with them because they said a thing or they made a video or they did something that was perfect. It was perfect all the way through. And they think because of that moment of perfection that lasted for months, maybe a couple years, that infallibility and being perfect in that context, whatever it is, has to be maintained permanently. Or, moreover, that is an actual aspect of themselves, that they are like blessed by God, like literally Gojo Satoru floating over the thing. Like, I am alone blessed under the heavens and earth. That kind of it's one of the criticisms. If I end up hanging out with fucking Xander Hall sometime soon, it's one of the criticisms I want to give him that I think could actually help him if you end up watching this, aside from the thing of that. He's a great example of it because it was Xander Hall for a long time saying like, I'm always right. Like, I'm always right about these things. Have I ever been wrong? You know what I mean? And like, if you start making that kind of perfect, like vision part of your ongoing brand, or you think it's actually a trait that you have, when you inevitably when you inevitably find out again that you're human, then it can be too much to handle for some people. For Vosh, it's the literally self-delusion of, I've never been humbled in a debate. Like, and that's why he has to hide it, because you internalize that aspect of perfection or that aspect of glory within you as being a part of you. And you either see it as something that's literally like real and indelible, or something that other people see as being like necessary to your existence. That presence of that factor is what I think crushes most people. With lifestyle creators, it's not going to be being right about a political thing. You know what I mean? Like, I called it, I was correct about this guy, or I'm like really good at debates. For people that are like internet personalities, like influencer types, it might just be the like, you know, I always feel like I can come here and be comfortable with you. I'm always comfortable here. Like there's never any like static. This is like a really comfortable place. Like I always feel like it's just like hanging out. Like the vibes are good. And so like I think for some people like that, and I don't know 100% if that's how Brad Taste is, but like that's kind of the feeling that I'm getting from him, is that he provided like a sense of community or something to these people. And when that got riled, he had his own issues, of course, but once that got riled, he's like, oh, and then he didn't have that grounding bit anymore. See Bobby Burns? Bobby Burns is an immoral bankrupt man. I don't even know what you guys are talking about. You guys are talking about something completely different. He seems generally neurotic. Yeah. So like, that's just kind of a thing I wanted to articulate as just a main point in general, is that I think a lot of people really on the internet need the Augustus Caesar guy on your shoulder telling you that you're only human, not just to make you feel less godlike, but also to just tell you to give yourself a bit of more grace with your shortcomings, and understanding that massive moments of unquestionable failure are ahead, and then you just have to get back up and ride. Like you just have to get back up and ride the right way. Or sometimes you have to cut ties and quit, which is, I think, maybe the case with Brad. That legitimately you don't have the ability to resist that. Your success was possibly incumbent on your self-delusion of grandeur. And now that you can't withstand that and you can't maintain it, you might be on a permanent downward spiral into self-destructive mentalities even, just because you can't have that anymore. You're and then you're done. That's my mind. So this is him coming back from rehab. This is one of those moments right here where you should turn the camera off. We had this, I can't remember who exactly I was talking about the other day or the other week, because it's been a minute. But I remember we said, you know, when you're sitting there and filming yourself and you're looking at yourself, it might have even been Brad. You're looking at yourself and you've got the camera up and you look like maybe unwell or like sickly or like crazed, that it's probably, you could just turn it off. Sometimes people don't need to know. Sometimes you don't even have to fucking respond to people. You literally don't. It can be the best move to do nothing. Sometimes quitting is actually a fire option. See, drugs. But I'm going to let him talk. This is just, I don't know how he managed to make himself look so crazy. I mean, I guess he is just a little mentally unwell right now, but god damn, this is rough. This is just mise en scène. Perfect in its execution. Like it would take, this should be painted. You know what I mean? It's just kind of wild. I'm going to let it go.
What's up, you guys? It's Bradley here. I'm home, and I actually have some great news for you. Oh, which is really nice to be saying. After discussing it with my family and with some experts in the medical field, I've decided that I am going to be doing a little bit of content online, and I'd like to discuss that with you, what that's going to be, because it is going to feel a lot different. All right. Streams. You guys ready? This is the best news of all. You will not have to pay a single cent anymore for any entertainment. That's right. Now hear me out. You may be like, Bradley, you're crazy. What? No money? How are you supposed to make money? That's the thing. It's not about the money. It's about the art. You see where I'm going here? Everything has become about the money. And what I'd like to do is take it back to basics. Back to when there was no money. All right? Back to when all we had was our creativity and a platform to share that. So what I'm going to be doing is any streaming, if you want to suggest, you want a song in there, be my guest. All right? We're going to be doing some community building, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. The best part and the best news is that's all I have for you. That's it.
So that's a video. That's not great. That's not great. That's not great. God damn. My dude is not looking hot right now. That's like a manic phase type stuff. This isn't like even a diagnosis thing. It just has that vibe of like somebody having like a manic kind of moment where it's like, you know, I'm not going to diagnose you. I'm just saying like person to person, I think maybe step away, turn the camera off for your own, you know, edification, for your own, for your own safety and health. Like, God damn. Wow, no green screen or anything. Yeah. Tyler looks like he's judging his son's free lemonade stand idea while chewing on turkey. God damn. I know there's some concerns with people in my community and abroad of like diagnosing people. Diagnosing people is when you try to say like, I'm certain that this person has this disorder and that it's causing this issue. I'm just trying to say like, that seems like a symptom. And I think that that symptom plus certain types of activities is a bad mix. Kind of like being really depressed and going on bridge walks in the middle of the night. It's not too much of a, you know, hey, he's sad. Where did he head? The largest bridge over the river. Okay, let's go get in the car and see if we can beat him there. Hopefully we find more than just his shoes. So the issue here is I don't think Brad's supposed to be on TV. I don't think he should. I know it's not going to be, there's no way he would ever hear my stuff. My consensus as part of the greater internet conversation around this is going to be, I think that guy needs to be left alone in a general sense. I know like drama hogs and freaks are probably going to try to like exacerbate the situation if they can, if he's got A-loggers or anyone. He doesn't seem like a particularly bad person to me. If I haven't been told different, fine. But there's definitely no like some types of locale types, harassment is actually probably good for them. You know what I mean? Like pushback, negativity, and pushback is probably good for them. Bo Blacks specifically, great example of that. A guy that needed way more cruelty in his life, and didn't get it, and it ended up bad. I think kind of the opposite's probably true for Brad. I think that's a guy who needs to have the spotlight go out probably for a good long time. I said this during the Ergo Josh thing, and it made people upset. So I'm going to say it again. Sometimes if you make stuff, it's good to take a weirdly long amount of time off from making it. I say this as an older person, and like, you know, young people are like, I live for my art. I live and breathe it. Well, sometimes you still have to, if you love something, let it go. And if it loves you back, it'll come back. That continues into creativity, artistry, and making. And I think that's a guy that needs to take like a year off. And it's like, yeah, he might lose everything. It's like, I think he's going to lose everything either way then. There's no way that if he gets back into streaming, it's going to be better. Like, we were like, well, he's in the middle of a meltdown. It's like, yeah, I think the meltdown's coming from the content. Probably he has like other, you know, comorbid issues. I know people said that he smokes too much weed and he's got like a paranoia point, and maybe he's got something to do with gambling addiction. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't really care. Usually those comorbidities, those type of things are not actually the problem. They're usually symptoms of the actual problem. And in this case, it might just be the stress. I mean, he's bargaining, literally. This is the bargaining stage of loss. He's bargaining with his audience or some understanding of his audience and how he interacts with them to like, hey, I'm not going to make you guys pay to watch me anymore, but we're going to go back to the stuff basically like when we started and when I started growing. It gives that kind of vibe. I could be wrong. You know, I don't know the guy. And kind of the point of that, like, I don't really understand the nature of what's happening. It's kind of like, maybe stop putting those videos out. You know what I mean? Maybe leave that one. Don't even put it in the drafts. In my opinion, it kind of closing stuff out, I think that this guy is in a bad state because of his internet career. Literally. And I think it's perfectly fine for there to be no more Brad Taste in music content for a long time. Maybe forever. Maybe there could be no more forever. I don't see that individual specifically putting together something that's going to be enjoyed for the sake of what was put together. I feel like if anyone's going to be watching Brad for a while going forward, it's probably going to be to try to exacerbate his mental situation or capitalize on how bad he feels, and hope he has some sort of freak out. And that's probably not going to end if he keeps acting this way. I got to say that's a guy. It's probably time to tuck in the old internet career, because it doesn't seem like it's making him happy. It doesn't seem like it's not gonna ruin his life. I don't really know what to add to that. So yeah, I would say Brad taste in music probably should get off the internet, but he's not going to. So we're gonna watch whatever happens next. Follow the train down the hole to see if I'm right. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I get on there and he's like clean shaven, sane-eyed, sweatless, speaking with passion and eloquence on a subject that's close to his heart. But I feel like that's not going to be the case, and we'll find out as time goes on. Good luck, Brad.
Hope you enjoyed your time on the West Side.